Forget your problems and dance away the whole night. Tonight we're gonna just enjoy life. Don't need introductions for us to have a good time. Just let the feeling take you up high. Cause I know a place where we can both go. Let me show you how to let your stress go. Ease your mind and baby don't you act shy. Cause we've got every reason why we should keep celebrating life. So when we sing so come let me wine with you and have a good time with you. Let's show the world how we do tonight. So celebrate life. Throw all your stress away. Watch your weeders break away. Don't care what them people say tonight. We're celebrating life.
I can take you there. Loving on me out and everybody have a share. Let me take you to a place. Come follow me. Just free up yourself and move your body. Let me go.
It's all like we fetting. Watch your me close for last sweat.
That was Celebrate Life by Mr. Kevin Carter featuring Charles Marshall. And we're celebrating here our 4th episode of Carnevolve, WSN's latest offering of the Carnevolve series with Mr. Carter himself as well as Miss Noel Archer. Of course, my co-host, Mark Anthony Peter.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to our guests. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you for having us.
Now, first question. It's Carnival Friday. What's the plans from now until Tuesday?
This is one of the first carnivals. I don't have a lot of plans. When I leave here, I'm going to... however, when I leave here, I'm going to... there's a special needs school in St. Helena that I work with, and today's the jump up, so I'm going to walk Moko for them. Yeah, and then Pan, I'm playing with Phase 2, so rehearsal tonight.
Okay. All right.
Panorama tomorrow.
Finals tomorrow.
We play first and we keeping it there, number 1.
Nice.
Of course. Come on, what's the plans?
I kind of just go with the flow, to be honest. I'm that kind of guy. I'm a free spirit. I go with the flow.
Yes.
So anything can happen for me over the weekend.
Okay.
It's all about where my friends are, my colleagues. Say, Kev, we here, we in Pan, we in this party, and if I feel in the mood, I might stop in on that.
Nice.
And that's how I usually move for Carnival.
Okay,
That's
cool.
a nice place to be.
You did mention free spirit, and that is in your bio.
Yeah.
Free spirit. But you also have multifaceted vocalist, songwriter, entertainer, and recording artist.
That's plenty.
Yeah. That's a lot to shoulder. And your YouTube channel has over 300,000 total views. Tell me from when you started to today, how did it all start? What did it all start?
Well, I didn't grow up in church singing gospel or anything like that, you know.
Don't throw shade now.
No, because I feel like if I didn't start there, it's like
somehow that's
like a benchmark.
Foundation.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that opportunity. But I did start to play Quattro in 1991. Believe it or not, my first experience on stage was in Parang.
Okay.
With Lisa Jagasa, Los Alumnos de San Juan. That is to tell you how long that band has been in the business.
Yeah.
I think it started in 1986.
Yes.
And I joined the band in 1991 when I was 12. I'm giving away my age, but that's okay. And so I played with them for like 2 years, from 91 to 93. Quattro, boy, in the back. I was a background guy.
So you're not singing at this point?
No, I wasn't singing. I just like being in the back. I never liked being in front and that kind of thing. I played with them until 1993. Then I went to St. Augustine Comprehensive after.
Okay.
Found out I was going to be migrating, so I forget school. I was the fella that was going to school. There's a pencil in the ears and a copybook in the back pocket.
You were that guy.
I was that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I was that guy. When my mom telling me, your old papers come through me and my brother, so you're all going to be coming up, write CXC first and then you're coming up right after. I say, yeah, listen, this is very embarrassing. I know he's training a little bit. CXC, I literally just walked out of the room in like 10 minutes and stuff. All my exams, I just...
Well, I guess you realize that's not going to translate up there, you know?
Yeah, exactly, because when I got up to the States, I had to redo exams anyway.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But anyways, let me stay on the music. So I migrated in '96 to New York, and then I picked up the music again with 2 other friends, and this time, so follow Parang first. Then when I got to New York, it was R&B.
Okay.
Started a cappella group with 2 other friends. Wanted to be the background guy, you know, background vocalist.
Right.
Once again, never wanting to be in the front. That group lasted about a week and a half. So we had to call it quits.
Okay. How old were you all around this time? I'm just curious.
I'm about 18.
Okay, so
18.
So a week and a half was a little bit quick.
Right.
Yeah.
Egos and who wanna do what.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, here we're going on.
I mean, I know some bands are one-hit wonders, but y'all were...
we gave it a solid week and a half though.
Okay.
You know, then that just...
The irony is you wanted to be in the background.
I'm
So
just a background singer.
your story is, I'm the guy in the background, but my band imploded.
Yeah, exactly. Like, dude, who's fighting to sing lead? And I'm like, hey, what guys, I can't do this. Took a little break, and them time I listened to all, you know, just that my love for music expanded.
Right.
You know, because I live in the States, I was able to buy my own CDs now, so every week I'm buying CDs from all the music that I listened to growing up in the 80s in Trinidad, like Motown, R&B, pop, soft rock, calypso, reggae. That influenced me. And of course, listening to the Jackson 5 Christmas album every year was one of my favorites with my grandmother, you know. And so when I was of age, getting my little allowance, every week I would go and buy a CD until my CD collection was like crazy. For over 3 years, it was like a whole library I had. And then too, you may be a little too young, but back in the day, you as well.
Very much so.
Back
I can attest to that.
Back in the day,
You said 91, I wasn't born.
for me, I can even speak up. I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
So back in the day, we listened to limited stations.
Yes.
So one station played everything. Hence, as an artist now, I'm influenced by all sorts of different genres, including jazz too.
Right.
You know, and it molded me to be the artist that I am today, not wanting to pigeonhole myself, only doing soca, or only doing Christmas, or only, because some people might say, oh, I'm the Christmas artist. But, I mean, I've done Christmas songs, yeah.
As well.
But I'm not a Christmas artist. Oh yeah, you don't do soca again? I thought you was a soca artist. Well, I've really soca for 15 years.
Right.
It made it have played on the mainstream airwaves, but my first recordings were soca releases. In 2008 was my first official soca release. So anyways, just to tack back a little bit, so that R&B group broke up, took a break, and then my brother started to play. Back in the day, we had a little Casio in our basement, and he started to play little chords and stuff. And then I used to like to sing reggae on the little chords he would strum, you know, in the early 2000s.
I was born by that time.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, I realized my brother had a knack for music too. And we took about 5 years to hone our craft. He would just make beats. 2003, I quit my job at the time. I tell my mom, I say, Mom, here what's going on? I'm not going to work again. I'm going to take a year off to focus on music. She's like, what? What are you talking about? You know, Caribbean parents.
I know.
School. You know, go get your education and get a good job and this, that, yeah. But that just was not me. I was creative and artistic, but I found it hard to channel because, you know, everybody want what they want for you. And I'm like, okay, but what do I want for myself? You know, so I took the year off. And my brother used to make beats in the day. I sleep in the day, and then when he goes to bed, because he has high school, he's younger than I am, I get up in the night and all morning just listening to beats and writing and trying to hone my craft, writing all kind of stupid songs, mat and bat, rhyming like that, real basic rhyming and stuff. But you had to start somewhere.
Right, of course.
So just to fast forward, my brother now is doing well in his industry. His name is GBM Neutron. So he's doing wonderful. Yeah, he's having an amazing year this year.
Yes, he is.
I'm so happy for him and proud. And he took more the soca route, and I took more the mix-up route.
Right.
A little soca.
All-rounder.
Yeah, a little soca, a little reggae, a little R&B.
Okay.
That was me. And
That's interesting because it actually comes back to my next question. So, especially for Noel. So, you are performing artist, vocal coach, composer, arranger, actress, dancer, stilt walker.
Yes.
wow.
Now, have you ever experienced, so clearly you're not limited to just one thing. As he mentioned, not being pigeonholed to one particular thing, have you ever experienced in your life when people say, stay in this lane or stay in that lane, and then you're like, nah?
Yeah, multiple times. Probably first time is when I started studying music. For the first time, I got introduced to music theory, and everything I've been hearing in my head is finally making sense.
Yeah.
And I could put words to it. And so I wanted to learn the piano, I wanted to do voice, I wanted to do guitar, what else to have? And somebody's like, you need to choose one. And honestly, I really didn't have the time to do all, but I still really didn't need to choose one.
Right.
You know, so I had that with the instruments. And then with the genres of music, they do all different genres, and then they like, you need to choose one. You know, there's always this, I guess, they need clarity of what it is that you're doing. And so sometimes people tend to yeah?
No, well, the reason why they said you need to choose one, was it because of the commercial aspects? Because I feel as though that's part of the problem. Art, whether it's film, television, music, you know, for the business to move forward, the financiers, they don't necessarily get all of the intricacies of what it is artists do. So you need to be like, well, there are so-and-so artists like so-and-so. They do this genre like this guy or that girl, right? So was it for that, or was it just people who were more concerned that if you spread yourself too thin, you won't actually necessarily...
I think it's kind of what you said, as well as, you know, if you have a type of music, in order for it to push, they really need to put it in a category. So I think that's the reason that people would tell you, well, you need to choose one.
Was it people who knew you, or was it just a general sentiment from the public?
Nah, just like acquaintances or...
Right, but it wasn't like as though...
It's not, no, the public...
You didn't get a pushback.
Who didn't matter?
So,
In a sense.
no. The people mattered, and actually there was some validity in what they would say, right? But to the public, I realized they categorize you however they feel like. So I would go in a circle and they'd be like, oh, that's Noel, she's a dancer. Like, not really, I know I'm a singer. But they know me in the dancing circles. So they categorize me as that.
Okay, but where does stilt walking come into all of this? Because you know we've had multi-genre other singers among, you know, when I saw that, I was like, I could understand, you know, R&B, jazz, soca, you know, pop. I could understand.
Right.
Stilt walking, you know, that's definitely a unique skill set.
Oh yeah.
I've seen people. One of the choir was with some of the members. They trained to go to Barbados with stilts, but you know, these aren't people who did it all their life. So they were on baby stilts. You know, they didn't even look like stilts. Right. You know, but so are you at an advanced level, or?
Yeah, well, when you look at other people around you, you realize how much you still have to learn.
Right.
But right now, my stilts are about 5 feet.
Yeah, that's pretty high.
So it looks tall. It's not inside. You can't walk through a doorway with that.
Yeah.
All right. What happened, right, is I had a bucket list. I still have it, and I'd be like, I want to bungee jump. I want to stilt walk, and so I did it. There's this company called 1000 Mokos, and well, we teach stilt walking for free. You could give donations. You could check them out on social media, and I was interested, and I asked somebody, like, well, come Sunday, show up like 2 o'clock, come early because, you know, it's half real people. So I show up like minutes to 2, 1:30, first person there. And I went, and this guy named Charlton.
Big up Charlton.
Yeah.
Big up Charlton.
He took me, he held my hand, he walked me through, and under a minute, my body was already able to balance on these stilts, right? So that was my first experience, and then they were like, well, we're coming back next week, we're coming back, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming back, and so I learned with the company 1,000 mokos, and then I later learned from other stilt walkers in other companies, in other schools.
Okay.
More advanced people, they're like, Joel, try this, and I'm like, I'll try it, and so it was just a hobby I never put down, and now I just love it. It's just,
I mean,
It's actually not that uncommon. I know a lot of people who do sing and dance, and they do end up on stilts for some reason. So it's not very uncommon.
this is literally first time I've heard it. Folks, we have to take a break, but we're going to give you, from Miss Archer, we have More Love, one of her musical contributions. Stay tuned, we'll be right back here on Carnevolve after this.
I'll be next to you when you want me to every day. We blowing off the roof with love and amplitude up in here. Give a little love when you get a little love. Hands up, blessing from above. Give a little love when you get a little love. Hands up, blessing from above. I want you to hold me, never let me go. I want you to show me this love you have been done. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I don't know, hey, hey. More la, 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 la. Más amor, more la, 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 la,
Like many others trying to save on Carnival, Gabby thought she should go for 50% off makeup.
What about the other side? Well, Daisy 50% off offer. So you know.
No makeup artist we don't know. What we do know is the savviest savings for Carnival are at KFC. Get a Jab Jab box, 1-piece chicken, 1 regular fries, and a biscuit for only $25.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
FanZone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
Carnival. Tell me who is the greatest. Trinidad, Trinidad, Trinidad.
That was Greatest Carnival from Jadol and the Sass Rhythm there under our bumper, but we are still here with Mr. Carter and Miss Archer. So, of course, we were speaking about hidden talents and the origins. So I don't know if I could let this go now because you know you spent some time abroad, and I know a few people who've moved abroad, and you know, three things happen. Either one, you pick up the foreign accent, right? You just can't help it.
Right. Yeah.
Two, you learn how to switch, you know, and when you come home, you just switch, right? Because sometimes you have to be understood.
Yes.
And not all Trinis can be understood in
Right.
different countries abroad. Yeah. And then three, somehow, you know, you manage to stick it out and hold to your guns and not have to use a Trini accent.
Well,
use a foreign accent.
I will admit to you, I had, in some instances, depending on who I'm dealing with, I would have to slow my twang down.
Yeah.
Slow it down a bit.
Yeah.
And just, you know, try to speak a little proper and stuff. But for the most part, I loved when people wasn't sure where I was from, you know. So like, just by looking at me, they might think, are you Puerto Rican? Are you Dominican? Are you biracial? Well, what are you? So I'm from Trinidad. Like, oh, Trinidad. And then of course, you hear a Caribbean accent, the first place you think is Jamaica. Yeah. The majority of times. You Jamaican?
Yeah.
No.
Did you ever get the question, what part of Jamaica
is
Trinidad in?
Oh, no.
I think I got that once.
No.
That was just like,
serious.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
But I knew a lot of places in Jamaica though. Eh? Like, I just told you off, you know, I was Jamaican for 2 years. And, you know, I'm from St. Anne's in Jamaica. I'm just kidding.
But you had a whole backstory.
I had a lot of Jamaican friends. When I first migrated, my first 2 years down the block was a Jamaican family. And we just kind of gravitated to each other. And I would do everything Jamaican. The movies, that time was, I don't know if you all remember a movie called, no, you weren't born yet, Dancehall Queen.
I know the movie.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do.
All right. Give me a little slap here. Okay.
Wow.
Third World Cup,
You shut yourself up
Shutters,
for
you know, all
that
them. I was into that heavily. I was into the culture heavily. And that was just my vibe for 2 years. Then I snapped out of it. Okay, I'm Trinidad.
Okay. You came home and it's like, we had to drop this.
Yeah.
You know, it might not go down quite as well.
Yeah.
But Noel, I have found that you are a fire breather in training.
I don't know how you found it.
Damn.
Where you found that?
I cannot reveal my sources.
I have not publicized that really, but yes, I am in training because you have to respect the craft.
Well, yeah.
Even still talking as well.
Yes.
You have to respect gravity and you have to respect.
You have to respect.
You do.
I'm pretty sure gravity don't care if you respect it or not, you know, but your fault.
You have to respect it.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, people have called me multiple times because they know I love the culture and arts to do fire breathing, and I let them know, no, I'm not ready for that.
Okay.
When I feel like I'm at a point where I'm ready for that, yes, I could perform it.
Well, then the answer to my first question should have been, well, Juve morning breathing fire.
I have a friend. I have a dragon friend.
Okay.
They breathe fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because, well, so in Kevin's case, you're exploring music, you go to New York, you're exposed to a whole lot of music in New York, right? Especially back then compared to Trinidad in the 80s, 90s, you know? Well, in the 90s, right? Yeah. But you have your Bachelor in Fine Arts in Performing Arts. So technically it's not just limited to music or even performing arts centered around music. I mean, you specialize in music, but fire breathing is a whole other, stilt walking is a whole other. Is it that I guess you could say if there's any kind of identity you have, it's about the local culture, however that's defined?
Yeah, I love our culture. I love performing. I love the arts. But the degree actually didn't give a lot of room for anything other than the music. I got to do one acting class outside of my degree, but you are required to do so much practice, and that takes time that you don't really get to venture out. Other than, I mean, also the classes clashing, you know? Yeah, so I like the performing arts, and so when I see something I like, I don't mind trying it.
Mr. Carter, you know, listening to you sing, I am very much an amateur singer. I find it interesting. Did you have these?
Stop lying.
Let's hear.
I'm an amateur. Anyway,
get another question.
No, right, right. Whereas, have you? Well, sorry. You see, you distracted me. Right now, a lot of the singers up and coming, they have a lot of technical training, right? Because we have a lot more music programs. Now, you yourself, to my ear, sounds like someone who may have had technical training, or did you just happen to figure out your singing style and your techniques on your own?
No technical training, unfortunately. I learned as I went along, self-taught. Maybe a couple vocal classes here and there.
Right.
Then when the age of technology came in, like YouTube and stuff, you know, you look up vocal warm-ups, you know, how, you know, that kind of stuff. I kind of focus a lot more there than actually going to a classroom like my colleague here probably and learning the good stuff. I envy you. I really do. I wish I, you know a movie called Fame?
Yes.
You know Fame?
I do. I watched it several times.
Kudos, bro. I like that.
To performing people, to artistic people, I guess Fame is just one of those movies.
Yeah.
Ironically, no, I have not watched the movie Fame.
Well, it was a series back in the 80s.
Sorry, right. There was I think they tried to reboot the series.
Yeah,
and I saw a little bit of that, but they didn't really.
In terms of singing style, it took me a while to figure out what type of vocalist I wanted to be. Because like I said, I was caught between soca and the R&B stuff. However, for example, soca, I think I gravitated to singers like David Rudder, Edwin Yearwood from Crossfire, because I paid attention how they used their range, and their voices were very melodic. So I'm like, maybe that is something I could gravitate to if I do the soca vibe, more the Crossfire kind of soca.
Not the power.
I mean, believe it or not, I'll do a power for wildness, but people might find like, okay, what are you doing? Like, stop. So I gotta play myself.
No, but not just that. One of the things which is unfortunate with some of the older generations of performing artists, like say Denise Plummer or others who I will not name, who are still currently performing, without the training. Like I think in your case, you've managed to figure out a good technique for yourself. But like with Denise Plummer, I remember she herself didn't start off as a calypsonian or soca artist, and my father would tell me about when she was singing contemporary songs way back when.
She had a residence in Shakonia.
Right.
Singing multi-genres of music.
But then, the soca and the shouting and the energy, but it comes with volume. It played a part, on damaging her that voice that she had. I mean, she still was the performer. Right.
Of course,
and I think that's a common thing for people who had to come up then and not have training.
Right.
So I mean, maybe it's a good thing that you didn't try, because it was also like what the style pushes you to do.
And then in terms of the contemporary music, so local was David Rudder, Edwin Yearwood, right? And a couple others as well, but they were my two top go-tos in terms of soca.
Hold on. You're jumping the gun here, because we have a segment after, so I don't want you to give away all of your musical influences just yet.
Okay.
But I just want to quickly go to Noel here. So with regards to your performing genres, right, do you stick mainly to local genres? Do you have all of the outside influences when you perform as well?
I have different influences. I don't stick to one type of music. But I am Caribbean. So even if I do a foreign song, I still am Caribbean.
Right,
So the
okay.
song is Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily change it to sound Caribbean. So that's that. Then also I always include in my set local music. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come to my show, you hear a fusion, different types of music.
All right, so time is pressing, but we do have to get to the most important segment of the show, ladies and gentlemen, and that is we want to get to know you, the individuals, better. Our audience could get to know you better. So we have 9 questions, just 9 questions, right? You know, to kind of reveal some of the inner workings of our 2 artists here. So each of you will answer, and you don't have to overthink it, you know, just what comes to mind. So first of all, I myself am always curious. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Night owl.
Yes, you see, honest performance.
I appreciate you coming this early morning.
You see the bags on the horizon.
I actually just came from phase 2 practice.
Wow!
And,
like this morning?
This morning,
kidding me?
yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't even stay to the end because I know I had to come here. I went, and like while I was emailing you, I fell asleep.
Why that email came at that time. Oh, okay.
So, what was the first concert you ever attended that you could remember?
Earliest memory.
That you could remember?
You were in the audience.
For me, it was a R&B singer called Genuine.
Okay.
Back in the 90s.
Okay, yeah.
You remember Genuine?
Yeah.
I remember one video, but we won't get into that.
I grew up in church. I went to a lot of church concerts. My father was a singer, so he'd perform in some concerts as well. A lot of religious and classical music and some country, because at church we went to kind of listen to Western. I know, we kind of listen to Western religious music. You know,
Still talking,
globalization.
still talking, fire breathing, country music.
And I actually still love gospel.
Okay,
I still
yeah.
love gospel.
Yeah. All right, so TNT is a foodie nation. What is your favorite cuisine or go-to meal?
Lasagna.
That's a hard question for me because I love my local food.
Yeah.
From curry to pilau to Sunday lunch, you know, that kind of thing.
Pick one.
The one here.
No overthinking.
Rice, peas, macaroni pie, stew chicken.
Sunday lunch.
Yeah.
It's funny how we have this thing, Sunday lunch, right? Yeah. Everybody knows what it is.
I know exactly what comes in Sunday lunch.
Yeah, but it's not really defined, you know. It's not, it's not a dish, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, and maybe that should be the national cuisine of the islands, Sunday lunch. Well, yes, because Tobago has curry, crab, and dump. Anyway, let's not get into that. So, this is always an interesting question for me. In these days, will you read the book or watch the movie? Read the book or watch the movie?
Watch the movie.
Same. I taught myself to read when I was bigger because I wasn't about that life. I learned to read in school and I did not read at home.
And when in university, you read what you have to.
What I have to.
Wow,
Yeah.
true. All right, now here is where we get the biggest musical influences. What is your biggest musical influence?
You take this one first.
So, locally, Destra Garcia.
Okay.
And the reason being is because I see that she's multifaceted as well. Destra would go on stage, she'd sing, she'd dance, she'd pump. Right now, Nyla is actually doing similar, right? She's singing and she's dancing and she's acting, and right? I saw Destra doing that before. And so and her voice is lovely. She never did voice training, but you could hear the resonance in her voice, you know? And internationally, Beyonce. Yeah, same. Multi.
Okay.
For me, I'll stick with, like I mentioned earlier, David Rudder, locally, and many others, like Merchant. I'm more old school, you know, Rasho T.I., you know, because for me, it's also about what message you're bringing in the music too.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like those three artists had a nice musical message of inspiration and love and togetherness and that kind of thing. So I'm drawn to stuff like that. When we're speaking internationally, Elder Barge, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, those kind of...
The R&B coming out.
Yeah, R&B soul
R&B
music,
and
yeah.
I want to see that CD collection. I want to see that CD collection.
But I mean, does it even still exist, some of those CDs?
No, because everything is digital now. So I have everything on my phone now, you know.
What did you do with the physical?
I threw them away.
I mean, if it was vinyl records, then...
No, vinyls, I can't do that. But CDs, because the house we were living at the time, we had to move.
Yeah.
And I'm also the type of person, I don't like to keep clutter and attached. I don't like to get attached.
Okay.
So it was a form of detachment for me where, okay, you know what, there's a new chapter, new start. I have my little iPod now. As much as I hate to throw these out, you know.
I just kind of broke a little.
I know.
I know, right? So, because not just clutter and getting rid of old stuff, but as a musician, as a singer,
I was moving around too much too.
I guess.
I was
too much bulk.
Place to place.
Yeah,
Okay,
so,
yeah.
you know, unless I had like a permanent
not
storage
practical,
place, yeah,
okay.
it was difficult
Alright,
to
so-
move around it.
Non-musical side of things, non-musical influence on your life. Inspiration. Who is an inspiration to you? Doesn't have to be the biggest. You don't have to try and figure it out. But who is a non-musical inspiration for you?
Okay, once again, okay, very random. Bruce Lee. Yeah, he's like, what? Bruce, who's that?
I know who
You set yourself up for this line. Bravo.
You're actually impressing me. You know a lot more than I think you do.
You'll be surprised how young people know music from the 90s. They were born in the mid-2000s. It actually baffles my mind too.
Yeah.
But then I remember growing up, you know, you would get some influences from the 70s, from the 60s, even if it's just ads for 60s greatest hits.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get curious and you eventually...
You know what it is? I have an older brother. We're 6 years apart. I never had cousins my age. Everybody was always older than me.
Okay, so you were wrong that and
Yeah.
be into and
Yeah.
Bruce Lee because of his philosophical perspective on life.
Okay.
Once again, it ties into inspiration, it ties into motivation, you know, love, that kind of thing, you know, finding your best self within first and foremost. So I gravitate to stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, no.
Oprah.
Nice.
Nice.
Oprah.
Is it the mogul side of Oprah? Is it the connecting in the interview, the human connection side of Oprah? Is it all of the above?
I think it's all of the above. I just sometimes go and listen to her motivational speeches. She just teaches a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat in her words.
You listen to our podcast episodes?
No, I don't.
You should.
Okay. What is the last song or music catalog from an artist or performing group that you've listened to on repeat? Who is it that you're jamming the most recently right now?
Early Juve morning, waiting for the sun to rise. Go down in the center. Go down in the center. GBM Neutron and Farm and Happy. Their song.
Carnival Spirits.
Yeah. I actually had that on repeat just now coming in.
I've been listening to the Road March right through, Michael
I
Tisha,
respect that. I respect that.
TNA.
All right,
I was singing for my preschoolers this week.
Nice.
And they're home.
Nice.
Actually, did you all see the video? I think he was in a school and he had the whole school joining in. That was nice to see.
Nice.
All right, second to last question. If your life was a story, what would be the title?
Wow, that's a really good question.
Thinking. They say don't overthink, but
I think for me it would be about determination in life as an individual, you know, working toward your goals, putting in the work, the effort to see it manifest, and never giving up. It'll be along those kind of storylines.
Okay.
Yeah. Hope.
Is storyline or the title you need?
Title.
That's the title, right? All right. You're deep. All right, the title would be... It's a hard question, dude. But I feel like my life often is about me finding myself and relearning myself.
I mean, that might be it right there. Relearning myself.
But not from scratch. Which is the name of my show.
Nice,
not from
nice,
scratch.
nice.
Starting not from scratch.
Nice.
Love it. Final question. How do you define success?
I think success means different things to different people. For me, there's no one definition of success. Perfect example, the doubles man on the corner. Success to him, and it's a true story, the doubles man up by me in Baratari there. Success for him was sending his kids to university, and he was proud of that. He was happy. He's like, yes, I've made it. I'm able to send my kids to school. That's success for him. So it goes back to what I just said. Success means different things to different people, I believe. For me, it simply means, you know, living in your truth, being yourself. I'm a true believer. You have to be yourself. You know, never sell out. That's just me. Being true to yourself and never giving up and pursuing what your heart desires and makes you happy. It doesn't always mean financial status, you know?
Nice.
I totally agree with what he said. So pursuing what it is I love and achieving my different goals is success for me. But to somebody else, it might be making a certain amount of money, right? Which is not necessarily what I would see first. As an artist, you don't really see money as a success goal all the time, you know? What goes ahead of that is the craft. I'm creating this song. I made this song, yes. Pat on the back, complete.
Yeah, of
Tick,
course.
you know?
I think it's something about local artists that you have to have some kind of love for what you're doing and some belief in what you're doing.
Definitely.
And most, maybe not all, but most money is not primary because when you're struggling for your craft, and everybody starts off struggling, you know. Yeah, you want to be able to feed yourself.
It's a difficult business. I will tell you that much. It's a difficult. The creative world is.
And it is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, it's highly competitive.
Yep.
And it's there's no automatic way through. So it's interesting. That seems to be a common answer, which I think rings true because of the fact that this is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
You know. But we do have, of course, you mentioned it. You have a show coming up. So you have Not From Scratch. We should have a flyer that we could put up there, Not From Scratch. This is at Cafe Blue on Saturday, the 24th of February. I don't know if the director could find it. There we go.
I love that flyer.
There she goes.
That
Thank you.
such a gorgeous flyer.
Thank you.
Not
And
from scratch.
I have to thank Kirby Young Designs. He plays a huge artwork, makeup, fashion. He does a lot.
So the concert is going to be multi-genre, as you said?
Yes, and there will be some guest artists as well.
And there will be stilts? There will be.
Yeah, there may be stilts. There may be stilts. In fact, my last two shows had stilts, so you never know.
Yeah,
There may
keep
be
it going, man.
Yeah, I usually do.
Now the question is, who will be the first band, right? You know, like a six-piece band with just everybody in stilts.
Yeah, but how the drummer will be on stilts?
Listen, the drum will be on a platform,
Yeah.
but the bass will be. All right, well,
Wrap the show.
We have to take. We're not wrapping the show. We're not wrapping the show. We have to take a break. And we say goodbye to our guests. Thank you for coming and sharing your life with us.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
I mean, it was great. It was great. So, folks, we take a break, of course. When we return, we'll have a couple more guests, and then afterwards, we'll wrap up the show. Stay tuned to Carnevolve on WSN, your content capital. We'll be right back.
This is WESN's News on the Hour. Here are the headlines. Divers have identified the name of the vessel that capsized and spilled oil in Tobago. J.V. Warner set to retire as president and CEO for Massey Holdings. Queen's Hall appoints 2 new members to its management team. And regionally, authorities apprehend 50 individuals in Turks and Caicos illegal boat landing. With the details, I'm Keaton Shaw. Divers have successfully identified the name of the vessel that capsized and spilled oil in Tobago. Alvin Douglas, the leader of the dive team from Tobago Marine Safety and Security Services Limited, reported that there were challenges in locating the registration number. He's quoted as saying the registration number on the stern was nearly impossible to access due to ongoing oil leakage beneath the vessel, compounded by murky conditions. Massey Holdings Limited announced yesterday the early retirement of J.V. Warner, the group's president and CEO. Warner, who has served as group CEO for 14 years, will retire on his 59th birthday on April 6, 2024. Massey stated. Massey said over the course of the next 2 months, Warner will work alongside David Alfonso, the chairman of the Integrated Retail Portfolio, who will succeed Warner as the group CEO. Both Warner and Alfonso were born in 1965, according to the Massey 2023 annual report. The leadership of Queen's Hall, Trinidad and Tobago's leading performing arts centre, has announced the addition of 2 new members to its team. Mary Lou Parbu Ramsumir assumes the role of Supervisor of Public Procurement, while Kalisha Clement Skeet joins as Legal Officer 1. A release by the Board of Queen's Hall states, "These appointments align with our strategic objectives, enhancing our capacity to adhere to government regulations and deliver top-notch services to the nation." In regional news, 50 individuals were captured at South Salt City in the Turks and Caicos Islands after an unauthorized boat landing. According to the Ministry of Immigration and Border Services, authorities detected the migrant-carrying vessel around 3 a.m., prompting immediate action to detain those involved and gather vital information for ongoing inquiries. As the latest update, around 59 individuals have been apprehended, with 1 female migrant tragically found deceased. That's news to the hour on WESN. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keaton Shaw. We'll have more for you at the top of the hour.
Yeah, this is Grandma Blackie. Carnival is really not your thing, so you're going away for the whole weekend. Move smart. Tell the police or tell a trusted neighbor so they can throw an eye on the property for you. Be smart to be safe for this carnival. When I see woman, I just feel like a glad man. Blackie says so. As I see girl, I want to fed. One look at what me wallet. Glad man.
Fan Zone, your reliable, authentic supplier, has just gotten better. You can now visit our website www.fanzonett.com for your authentic wear and collectibles. The only place where you can use both your Visa debit and credit cards. Visit our website fanzonett.com to make your purchase today.
My name is Carl Media, and I'm the founder and the host of Ever Increasing Voice Ministries. Join me every Saturday and Sunday on WESN, this powerful station, at 9 a.m. on Saturdays, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. nightly. Also on Sundays, I'll be on at 7 a.m., 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. at night time. When you come here, we are getting people heavenly ready.
Is it politics? What is it? Is it that nobody cares about sports?
The kind of support that sport used to get in the past is no longer here.
The thing is, taking a knee doesn't mean that that's the only thing you're doing on it.
Right.
Taking a knee along with other stuff.
Samantha, what are you looking forward to when you return home to Trinidad and Tobago after winning the title?
Thank you very much for speaking it into existence.
Is there no pressure on Nicholas Paul?
It makes me more motivated to work hard and to go out there and rep the red, white and black.
Why are we sending a team to the Winter Olympics?
There are a number of Trinbagonians who are in the diaspora and have grown up in winter sport. It's an opportunity that the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee will not close the door on.
I also believe in the players that we have. Once you can motivate the players, you can get the best out of them.
We gon' be jumping up in the front, up in the front, in the front. We gon' be waving up in the front, in the front, in the front. We gon' be winding up in the front, just pose for the camera. You could find me in the front, in the front. We gon' be jumping up in the front, up in the front, in the front. We gon' be waving up in the front, in the front, in the front. We gon' be winding up in the front, just pose for the camera. But if you never play, you would never know.
That is Let We Go by Rain on the SAS Rhythm, and we are joined by her manager, one Mr. Kyle, just Kyle? Is it Kyle? Right? As well as you made the SAS Rhythm?
Yeah, so I am the executive producer of the SAS Rhythm, yes.
And then we also have another artist that you manage, Mr. Besso.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
And first of all, thanks for coming on to Carnevolve.
Yes, thank you for having us.
It's great to be here. So, I mean, this is usually, we don't see management on the interview. We see the artist, you know, and of course the artist has his own interesting story.
Yeah.
But, well, actually, let's get on to that, Mr. Besson. You've been doing music for quite some time, haven't you?
Yes, I've been doing it since professionally, since 2005, actually. Still unknown, I should say, you know, but trying to break into the market. You know how tough it could be, you know, but persistence is always the key, and we're keeping at it, right? And made some progress, a lot of progress this year, a couple of changes as well. Well, first of all, we start with where I'm from. I'm really from rural area called Guayari. Right, it's past me, I go down. Right? Just to those who may know, it's a good way to the end of Trinidad, next end of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, but we're here this morning and I'm happy. And well, my background is really a church background from since, you know, we grew up in church. You know, my father being a pastor as well. So I grew up spiritual Baptist, you know, and so I grew up with that kind of teaching, you know, so, but how I branched out is soca, that's a next story, you know, and a lot of inspiration from, well, the Bungie and the Treason family back then. They kind of inspire me to do music, basically, do soca music, that is, and I was wanted to be a part of this, and started writing my own stuff as well. And as time go along, started improving, and we started recording professionally, to say, from 2005 up to this present time. You know, I managed to collaborate with M1 twice, and about 2 or 3 times on a couple of tracks. Sean Carruth as well, I collaborated with Sean Carruth. And well, I work with Colonel, Neil Bernard, a couple of big name producers, Casey Phillips. Now I'm working with Kyle Phillips, the brother of Casey Phillips as well, as this year. It's a kind of fast track to summarize the whole 17-year journey, right? Because like I said, from 2005 I've been doing this. So this year actually made a lot of progress, I should say, out of all the years I've been working. Actually, for the first time I have management on board. So the first time actually being managed by someone. So that was some great improvement for me. And this rhythm that I worked on with Kyle Phillips called the Best Box Rhythm. That's kind of my project, basically, something I invest in. So I had Showing on board on this rhythm, as well as Rocky.
So this is really my project basically, and getting a couple of a nice little turnaround on the airwaves as well. So I mean, not well, didn't get what was expected, but you know, we're still grateful for what we had got in this short season. You know, so we get a lot of airtime and stuff and things. So just continue to promote and market the thing as we go along, because like I say, persistence is always the key here, and we keep working at it.
And we do have a clip, but we won't play that just yet, because I do want to ask, I'm curious, you know, how did that meeting come about? Because you've been doing this on your own for so long. And now you met Kyle here to be management. Like, did he approach you? Did you approach him?
I approached him, right? Well, I always do my little research on social media, you know, seeing who working with who. And last year he did a rhythm with Flippo and Showing in Chester and Swappy, a couple of them. I forget the name of the rhythm.
The Jam Juice rhythm.
Right? Yeah. So when I saw that, and I started reaching out to other people, and there's like, you could talk to him. So it was more like a reference.
Right.
And they said, like, so I reach out, get his number, reach out to him, and, you know, a couple of questions, you know, why you want me to manage here, what you're looking for, that kind of thing. You know, trying to feel, to see what direction I want to go, you know, what I'm looking for, what I expect from him, that kind of stuff, you know, and we had a little rapport, we reasoned. And it took a little while, and then he said, you're going on, we go try. You know, I will try to say, I could help you, because it takes time, it takes work, you know, I don't take you on, you don't want to take me on board and then cannot push me to the max at the same time. So it was a kind of personal decision he had to make to decide if you really want to do that type of work, and we're here today.
Yeah, because a lot of the artists that we've had, they speak about success being, you know, being true to the arts, putting in the work, you know, and not necessarily financial achievement, although at the end of the day you still need to feed yourself and put a roof over your head and wear clothes and provide for your family. But is it that, you know, you understand the industry to the point where, you know, listen, I can't take time out for somebody who's not going to do the work and put the foundation in. It doesn't matter how long you've been here, I need to know myself that you are willing.
Well, so I really got into this a while back. I used to manage my brother Sky, and Sky was in the industry for years and years, and in 2008 he had his hit song Desire, and that is what kind of propelled me into, or fascinated me more into wanting to get into the soca world, or the industry, or whatever we want to call it down here, you know. So I know how hard he worked, you know, on the street, pushing his own CDs, you know, going to shows, and a promoter telling you, come, I'm going to put you on, and then they don't put you on, and you're there all night waiting, and you're seeing this one show up and going on the stage, and that one show up and going on the stage. So I know what it takes mentally and physically to be a part of this world, right? So when he came to me, when Mr. Besser came to me and asked me, I want to, you know, I would like you to manage me. You know, I wanted to know for myself if he was really up for the task of what it's going to take. You know, even Rain Blackman, when Rain Blackman came to me and asked me to manage her, it took 4 months before I gave her a yes. You know, because I went back into watching all her interviews. I wanted to make sure she could speak. I wanted to make sure, you know, how she presents herself as a professional, in a professional way. You know, it's not just come and you sit down and you know, to me it is a business, right? And if I'm going to put out my energy and my time on you, then you have to want the same for yourself. I can't want it for you, basically, right? You have to want it for yourself, and you have to match my energy, and I have to see that you're willing to push for yourself. I can't want to push for you. You know, so that's basically how I make my decisions on who I would like to work with or who I don't want to work with.
Okay. You mentioned that, you know, you wanted to make sure that you want to make sure the artist knows what it takes, right? And knows how to, what does, as I'm from the managerial perspective, what does it take for the artist? How much do they have to give of themselves?
Everything. Everything. You can't half step. It's just like building a house. You don't half step with your foundation. You don't half step putting up your walls. You don't want to go that slanted wall. Everything has to be straight. It's the same concept with this music. You can't half step. You have to go 100% of you into it.
Mr. Bessel, you've been plugging away a lot. You've had a lot of singles. You've been working at this for so long. I mean, Kyle here is saying, you know, you have to put everything into it.
Yeah.
But one could argue somebody like yourself has been putting everything, you know. So one of the things I'm curious is, how is it that you've not lost motivation to keep going? And you're doubling down. You're saying, all right, if this effort is not enough, I'm going to double my efforts. I'm going to find somebody to help me focus my efforts now.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. And but the pride does drive the whole thing too as well, you know, and wanting it and hungry for it. And if I stop now, like I tell you, since 2005 to now, if I stop now, I feel, because I don't give so much years. So much years done past trying to get into this door. Why stop now? Then probably, what if it was right here? What if it was next month? Right? Because in this soca fraternity, it takes one song. And that one song could happen, it could happen in 1 month. And everything could happen for the whole 15, 16, 17 years we've been doing it. It just wrap it up and coming in full. So I can't stop. So I have to go with the perception that, see, if I miss this year, I'll catch them next year. Try something different, or try a different strategy. You know, come up with different ideas, marketing plans, strategies to penetrate. So if I was doing something this and didn't work, I'd try it a different way. Or try to meet somebody different, I'd talk to somebody different. It's all about alignment as well. It might sound funny. I mean, this thing is not all about talent alone. It's all about alignment, you know. So it have rare talent and training around Tobago, you know. You know, and they're just not there. So it's alignment, you know, getting to meet people, meeting the right people as well, getting them to buy into what it is you have to offer as well. So it's a lot of moving pieces to put together to get the product out there and to get it where you want it to be. It's really, and really go out already, open some doors as well too, you know. It takes because, so.
Well, speaking about signals, now I want to take the time, if we could just play the clip we have here of, I think this is your music video for Anything Goes here on the Best Box Rhythm. Let's run the clip.
Feel like good run away. Box and roll, girl bump a roll, kicks overload, not overload, the overload, out on the road. My time to shine, my time to wine, I pop the line. My time to shine, my time to wine, I pop the line. You watch me. Oh yeah, some come dressed to impress, some don't care how they look is us, some even leave the fat topless.
Of course, that is the man himself. Anything goes. and I just want to point out, I found it interesting that Rain has Let We Go, and then Mr. Wessel has Anything Goes. So I don't know if that was like a theme this year, you know?
No. Everything just work out how it's supposed to work out, you know? Just like on the SAS rhythm, it's Rain Blackman, Tamika Marshall out of Guyana, and Jadel. And Rain's song is entitled Let We Go. Tamika Marshall is, oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. What is Tamika Marshall's song?
Hold on. I have it here for you. That is Have a Time.
Have a Time.
There we go.
And then Jadel is Greatest Carnival.
Yes.
You know, so everybody came up with Let We Go and Have a Time at the Greatest Carnival. You know, and it just happened that way. There was no science behind it.
And at the Greatest Carnival, anything goes.
And anything goes at the Greatest Carnival, you know. So it just happens that way. That's just how things just come as it's supposed to come, I believe. We don't try to force it. It just happens. You know, I worked with Shaf and doing the writing on this rhythm, and phenomenal. So big up to Shaf and Null Beats.
And it's interesting that just kind of came together authentically, because I do think as artists, authenticity plays a huge role into the art that you create. As you mentioned, you know, I want to go back a little bit. You mentioned that there was sometimes in this industry it takes one song and then everything just happens. one could argue that the work that you put in before that moment almost prepares you for that moment.
Yeah.
Because you need a certain level, because things could get very overwhelming and things could go any direction. But once you build up that strength and you stay within that authenticity of yourself, then it makes it makes the process a little bit easier and more manageable. I don't know what you always say.
Well, it's growth. It's learning. It's like you're going to school. You start off in first year, then you go to second year, standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you build up. It's a learning, you learn throughout from stages 1 to 5, and then you go on to secondary school. So it's the same thing with everything else. You start off learning your craft, understanding it, and every year as you go, you build and you build, or you're supposed to build.
Yeah.
You build and build and build, and you take what worked last year, you put it towards this year, what didn't work, you put it at the side, and then you try to figure out another way, what do I replace that with to see how I could go forward.
Yeah. Without a good foundation, I think that's where a lot of times you get these one-hit wonders. Success comes too quick, and they don't know how to follow up.
And they don't know how to follow up, yeah.
But I'm curious though, Mr. Bessel. If you could just have a one-hit and be a one-hit wonder, would that be enough to satisfy you, or do you need no. I'm not just here to have a 15 minutes, right? I'm not just here to balance. I want to be in the culture.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to come with one song after all these years and then say that is a day, that to me, I mean, it will be success for a particular song, but not for you in particular as an artist, really.
As an artist, yeah.
There's so much to be done, so much to do. I mean, this is, we are part of our culture, or a part of our genre that is so young. Why you want to do one song? Remember, we're trying to market this thing to the world. One song wouldn't cut it really. We need a volume of music. So if you get one in it, that means you put inside to do many more.
Right.
To put forward to the table and say that here come world. This is what we have to offer here. Now this one song we have is a lot to come in this spot here. To be accepted. So one song is not really enough to do the trick.
I think as an individual too. I don't think as an individual somebody wants to be a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
I think a true artist wants to live that. A true artist wants to wake up every morning and just have that creativity flowing and write a song and produce a song and go in the studio. After they produce, it goes on the airways.
And then the next one.
And then the next one comes, and the next one comes. I don't think anybody...
And it never ends.
It should not end. Artists don't ever want things to end. Yeah. Why do you think Marshall keep going? Marshall don't want it to end?
No.
Don't want it to end.
But he is evolving himself.
Because he doesn't want it to end.
Or maybe coming back full circle where he started. Yeah. But we can't have this segment without speaking about the other artist that you manage, Rain Blackman.
Rain Blackman.
Who is a Trinbagonian woman.
Yes.
But she's not living in Trinbago right now. She's trying to be a soca artist with a different career, something that I don't think a lot of people might even think would work.
Right. Yeah, so she's not trying to be a soca artist. She's a soca artist.
Okay, sorry. My bad.
She is a soca artist. She currently serves in the U.S. Navy on their legal team out in San Diego. So she has to balance her professional, military life while doing the soca, on the other half of things. So she goes to work like every day, like everybody else, deals with her work issues, and she would call me up and say, hey, I'm heading over by Casey Phillips to do a recording. All right, cool. That's just part of it, So she balances. She does a pretty good job balancing, actually, and it's tough, but we make it work as we go.
Yeah, because, she's not here. Case in point, she's not here to be here.
Right.
Right? Like, does that just make it twice as hard?
It does.
Exponentially harder?
It does make it a little harder. So she was here a couple of weeks ago, and she had three events that she performed at. Thankfully, she had a pretty good start, and the song was saying something, and we got a couple calls for her, but she was only here for a weekend. Whereas I would have liked her to be here for the season. You always want your artist to be around, because as things pick up, you want to be able to fit them somewhere.
And she's not doing it for the money because she's a lawyer who has a job with the Navy.
Yeah, so she's not a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
She's not a lawyer yet. She actually has aspirations of going to law school as well.
There's a lot on one person's plate.
Yeah, I often wonder myself, So she has aspirations of being a lawyer. But it is a lot of work, and people would think that as the military, how much legal stuff could you have to deal with? It's a lot. When you have sailors that smoking marijuana and doing craziness, and you have to, the military justice has to, step in, then that's where she is. So when I talk to her, it's daily. It's always something going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things, before we get into your questions, I do want to ask, because, here you are trying to break through. Here you are, having a long career on the other side as well, from both of your perspectives, because we just had a pandemic, for those who might not have known. Right. And it affected soccer, right? And then on top of that, now this is the second year without International Soccer Monarch. It affected Carnival, but soccer coming out of it doesn't seem to be necessarily in the best, healthiest place.
Right.
Is that specific part of Carnival, is it shrinking? Is it maintaining itself, at a post-COVID level, which is not necessarily the heights we saw in the past? Is it growing and recovering? Where do you all see that? Because I'm wondering if it makes it harder. The shorter Carnival is less opportunities already, right? But if the industry itself also is not necessarily at its height, opportunities also might be limited for artists to break through, which, might be something that might be something for you to have to look at.
Yeah, definitely. We always want to hope that there's sufficient stuff out there for us to do, right? So everybody could eat. And the short Carnival really does not help upcoming artists or unknown artists. It's already tough in a full season where promoters are only looking for the big names, right? But we also have to keep in mind we have other artists or unknown artists or upcoming artists that need that stage as well. It's, to me, I always reference it as you go for a job interview and they only want to hire somebody with experience. But nobody wants to give you experience.
That's a good one.
Right? So if nobody wants to give you experience, how do I now gain experience to step in this role? Right? So,
because the industry eventually will run out of the experienced people.
Well,
it's not just yet, but it's happening.
We're seeing it happening, right? We're seeing it happening right now as we speak. So we need to encourage, and I put this out there to a challenge to all the promoters, right? Challenge yourself, promote your event, but you don't need 15 seasoned artists to be on your stage, right? Include some of the younger artists, include some of the artists that have been out there pushing and pushing and pushing, because they too could help rock your stage. And I've seen it. I've been to an event where they had a seasoned artist on the stage, and this was in Miami, and people were just, wow. And then an unknown artist came on and rocked the stage.
Yeah.
And had people jumping, and had people engaged.
They performed.
So I think we need to give the younger artists that chance. We need to. As if we want to build, if we want to grow, if we want to have a genre called soca in the world, we can't have the same 10 artists for the last 15, 20 years. It needs to show growth. And that's just my thought.
All right. Time is against us. So it is now time to go to 9 questions. We want to peel back the layers so that, our viewers could get to know you, get to know Mr. Bessel here, right? If they haven't already, how many years? But start off simply. For all artists, the fundamental question, the most important question. Morning person or night owl?
What's the question?
Morning person
or night
owl?
Night.
Yeah, I noticed most artists operate or they function at night. I function during the day.
Oh.
The manager.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. You kind of have to.
Yeah.
Right?
It kills me when I have to go out too late.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hate to say, but I also kind of know that feeling now. I try to go to sleep earlier so I could wake up earlier so I could be more comfortable with my morning show. Right. And that doesn't always work. Yeah. All right. Now, to the best of your memory, what's the first concert you ever attended as an audience member?
First concert?
Yes. Best of your memory?
The Youth Fest.
I went and see Kid and Crisscross in the stadium.
Okay. They were here?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. All right. Of course, Trinis love their belly. What's your go-to cuisine or favorite food?
Nah, me is dumpling and anything stew.
Dumpling and anything stew.
Yeah,
all right.
stew.
Yeah. Curry.
Curry. Anything specific or just it don't matter?
Curry.
Okay, now here's where it gets tricky. Local curry or Indian food?
Local.
Okay. Just checking. Read the book or watch the movie?
The movie.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, the movie.
Reading is a dying art, boy. Wow.
No, it's not a dying art. It's not a dying art. But if it's a movie, I want to have a movie.
It's a dying art, I'm sorry.
No, it's
a dying art, Mark. It's a dying art. All your young people and your movies. All right. Musical influence. What's the biggest musical influence on you?
No, I just soca man. Sorry. Yeah.
So who is the biggest?
Who's the biggest?
Yeah, which artist?
Nah, Bunchy for me.
Bunchy? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, my biggest influence in the soca would be my brother. Because that's where I grew up watching him perform and hearing him in the gallery singing and when he was with Blue Ventures and, so I think my brother.
All right, so non-musical. Doesn't have to be the biggest, but name someone who inspires you.
Doesn't have to be biggest.
Doesn't have to be biggest. Just anyone who inspires you.
Michael Jackson to some point, he's a perfectionist at what he did,
But do you have a non-artist?
Yeah, someone who's not in the music.
Someone who's not in the music.
In the industry that influences you, that inspires you.
I can't think about nobody actually. Huh?
You're really living it. You're really keeping it.
Yes.
I think my father.
Okay.
My father, there's two people. So my father inspired me to be a better man, to be a man. And now my son and my family inspires me to be a better provider, and husband, and father. So I want to make sure that my children have more than I had, but they understand how to work for what they get. So it's my dad and then my
I'm glad
my
that you
kids.
added that last part because I know a lot of parents they say they want to give their children more, but then they make it easier for their children. They kind of over spoil in a way.
My children don't
still do the work.
My children, they know they have to get,
right,
but they know that there's work to put in to get it.
I like
there's no free ride.
That's good.
In order for my son to get a shoe, that means when the report card come, I must see 6 A's on there. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not a free ride for me.
Remember those days. Remember that well.
I was reverse. I was like, stop. I don't need. Anyway, let me not go there, right? So, okay, what's the last song or an artist catalog that you listen to and repeat? Who is it you're jamming to the most right now, most recently?
Right now?
Yeah.
Nah, that'll be the yelling.
Bungie.
Yeah.
Dave Matthews.
That's a left field one. But yeah, okay. All right, yeah.
I listen to a lot of Dave Matthews.
Nice.
All right. If your life was a story, second to last question. If your life was a story, what would be the title?
Oh, boy. That's a good question, anyway.
You gotta
my life was
you gotta
a
think
story.
about the future, just right now.
Just right my life was a story.
Yeah.
What would be the title?
Yeah.
Don't give up, boy. Yeah. Don't give up. That would be the story. That would be the title. Don't give up.
From San Juan to present.
Nice. Love that. And the final question, how do you, based on your experience in your own life, how do you define success?
Well, success, well, that's a more individual base. That's a case by case. Everyone will have their own perception of what success will be. Well, for me, it's more achievement. Things you work towards and achieve it, then to me that's success. You know, you have your aims and goals in life, different things, but you have to work towards it and achieve it to be successful, to feel that success, that level of success. That's my opinion on it.
Nice.
I woke up this morning, that was a success. I spoke to my children, that's a success, things I don't take for granted. So everybody will say is individually based, right? So that's my level of success. That's my idea of success.
Nice.
Well, I mean, that's a good way to put it, I think, at the end of the day. Gentlemen, so now that the season is almost over, I think we could kind of close out the show, come full circle. My counterpart asked our guests before, what's their plans for the carnival? What's your plans for the carnival?
Just relaxing, you know.
You're like, what time to take a break?
just relaxing, you know.
No, you must have a
No, I knew this
you
year.
have to be.
Yeah, I knew it. Monday, Tuesday. Actually, this is the first time I played mass, actually, you know, so.
Really?
Yeah.
All these years in soccer.
When you would say that, you know, and I just decided, well, I'll play mass this year. It's the first time, so it's a carnival with a mass virgin this year. Wow.
And you see, they have no real rest now, because right now, I try to make sure I could get here and rain in Orlando for Orlando Carnival.
Right.
You know, they have other things coming up.
It's a year-round thing.
Yes, yeah. So I take a little rest this week, and then
back to the grind.
And then we continue the grind.
One would not think, you know, y'all could take some personal time, Carnival Monday and Tuesday in the soccer industry. But I mean, I guess at least for you, it's whenever you could get it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being so open with your story. Of course, I'm sure the struggle is real, as they say. But
it is.
I hope we see more of you, and hopefully, you know, if there's anything, we might see more of you here on WSN.
Yes. All right. Hopefully,
you're welcome, man. You're
like
welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last iteration of Carnevolve. It wouldn't necessarily be the last time you see Mr. Mark Anthony Peter, right? But Carnival is coming to a close. Enjoy your Monday and Tuesday, folks. Stay safe out there, all things considered. Let's not go too deep in the heavy stuff, but stay safe, enjoy yourselves, and we will close with a little cover by a little known pianist known as Joanna, and a couple of her friends on strings, Miss Wasia Ward and Nariba Wasia Ward and Nariba Herbert. Here is DNA, covered by the piano girl herself.
It is said about Trinbagonians that if we are not celebrating Carnival, we are preparing for it. Artists and musicians write and release new music in time. Costume designers work tirelessly to produce new costumes for band launch season, which usually occurs as early as July. Event organizers start planning months in advance, and there are entire workout programs dedicated solely to Carnival preparation. But do you know the history of Carnival, where it came from, and how it's evolved into today's celebrations? It was in 1776, the Spanish royal José de Galvez issued a cedula of population, or a decree, that effectively invited residents from surrounding French territories in the Caribbean to move to Trinidad. In 1783, another cedula of population brought a new influx of French Creoles, and the island became irrevocably stamped with these cultural influences. White settlers and